So if you're watching this, you've either just finished watching my most recent pair programming podcast episode, or you haven't watched it yet. Either way, the point of this video is to just give a summary of the status of the application chat map that we're building throughout this series, as well as what me and my guest talked about throughout the episode. So after my guest and I finished recording the episode, I took some time to look at what we had accomplished, the UI UX prototypes, just to see whatever was we missed, or whatever could be tweaked based on what we had established, the design, the theme we had established, the color palettes and all that kind of stuff. So I went ahead, I realized that we missed the profile page, which is also needed for the users. Because if you remember in the episode before this one, we did the entity and schema design, and having the user have a username, etc., and profile picture as part of that schema. And so a profile page is going to be necessary for that. I tweaked some of the colors a bit, changed certain parts of where colors were. So you can probably tell based on what we had at the end of recording the video versus what it looks like now. And so now I think the app is ready for us to begin the actual development of it. So not every single page and not every single interaction has been prototyped, which is something, if this were like an actual application that I was going to release to make some money off of, is definitely something that would be done. But since this is just a fun little project, for the sake of, giving you guys a peek as to what goes on in the app development process, as well as allowing you to be able to listen to some great conversations about career, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just going to leave it as it is now and then proceed with building it in future episodes. And so this was a really cool episode for me, because, like I mentioned in the episode as well, it's like the first real visual part of this project, because you get to see what things would look like, the colors, the shapes, and all of that. And it was a very collaborative process. And plus, it showcases a very important part of the app development process, which is, engineering meeting the design. And, you can see how we clash sometimes, we exchange ideas, but at the end of the day, it all comes together to produce something that looks good, but it's also useful for the end consumer. And so, yeah, if you've already watched the episode, or if you've watched any of the number of short clips that I create from it, thank you. If you haven't, consider watching it. I think it's very interesting. You might even learn a thing or two, depending on where you are in your project or your career as a software developer. Or if you're not a software developer at all, then you learn a lot about what goes into making the apps that you know and love.